Hey everybody, what's up? It's Crazything here, the airbrush guy. I wanted to do just a live video today that I can have available on my channel that I can answer a lot of your questions on how to get started. Uh, I get approached pretty much daily with questions that I don't mind answering as long as I'm, able to and I have the time. So I thought I would go over a lot of them and make a live video because a lot of my live videos are informative. I'm not expecting a bunch of people to jump on and go crazy or anything like that. I just wanted to make a live video to help you guys, the ones that are interested in how to get started. I want to be able to help. Now, this video is not like a bunch of rules on what to do. Good morning. How are you doing? Uh, I'm just going to do some how to. And when I do how to videos, this isn't, strict rules about you have to do it this specific way. This is more of this is how I do it. And this is what works for me. I guess you could call this a disclaimer because I don't want any emails or messages telling you told me I had to do it this way and it didn't work. Um, I'm telling you how I do it and how it works for me. And that's the best I could do for you. Okay. So let's go over a couple things, shall we? First, if you're going to be into airbrushing, what do you need? Right? You know what you need, right? You need an airbrush gun. I specifically use one brand. I am not sponsored yet. Maybe one day. I use Iwata Eclipse. Okay. This is a top feed gun. Tell by the cup at the top. This is where your material, your paint will go, and it'll be pulled down and pushed through. This video is going to be mostly for beginners, but who knows, you might be able to pick up some tips even if you're a pro. This is the HPCS Iwata Eclipse. This is all I paint with. Okay? From when I made this video, I'm telling you, this is all I use. Now, it's not what I started with. 8 years ago, my mom and my uncle got together and they got me this glorious airbrush kit for Christmas. Best present ever, right? It came with everything it needed, but it was called a master kit. Okay. So, what is master, you ask? It is a much less expensive airbrush gun. People will tell you that some people can do wonders with them. I learned how to use one of these. And this is what I learned on, and it functioned. But honestly, that is you get what you pay for. I went through several of them. The only time I will actually use one of these now is for running ink through them, through using the makeup for airbrush tattoos. When I go out to shows and events, I will use one of these. If you're on a budget and you don't want to spend a lot of money, it really depends on what your plans are. Are you just going to be spraying some big stuff, maybe with some stencils and things, and you just want something to spray? These will work just fine. You figure out the best way to use your paint and to thin it out in one of these, and it will work, it will function, it will spray for you. But if you're going to do a lot of detail work, this is your go-to. Spend the money. If you're worried about tearing one up, if you haven't developed the habit of cleaning these out very good, which I do have videos on how to clean these out, you can look on my live playlist, and that'll be a good spot for you to look if you need to know how to clean some of these out. But if you're really, really, really new and you just want to try it out, pick you up a master airbrush. They're very inexpensive, and give it a shot. Now I'm going to talk to you people that are actually interested in doing some serious work, perhaps even making some money using an airbrush gun. If that's the case, do it. Save your pennies. Go get you an Iwata. Don't get the NIU. I've heard bad things, even though it may still be a functioning airbrush. It is not the Eclipse. The Eclipse is the workhorse of the airbrush world. It's an amazing airbrush inside and out. I still have my original that I got, I think, 6 years ago. Once I started learning and wanting to commit and really deciding to put everything into my passion, I stepped up, and it was such a learning curve to go from that one to this one. Uh, it was amazing. So I wish I'd have just started with one of these, in a way. So my advice would be, if you want to make some money or you want to do a lot of detail work, get you an Eclipse. It's worth it. Every penny. Trust me. I'm gonna put some water in this for now, just for to show some of you the beginning people here. If you saw that, all I did is pour some water in the top. The cap comes off. Take the cap off. Put your material in. Put your cap back on. One thing to check, guys. Make sure that the hole in the center of your cap is clean. See that hole? You need to be able to see through that, and you need to be able to see through that at all times. If that gets clogged up, you can run into trouble, and it can pop that cap off and have paint come out. Ask me how I know. See that splatter on the inside of my hat? That is exactly where that came from. Was working. That cap was, the hole was covered up for that vent, and then my finger touched the end of this, and I was still spraying, and it was a mistake on my part, but it happens. Well, it had nowhere to go. All that air is rushing, can't come out here, and it can't release here. So it took the top off, and it sprayed. It got in my eye, all over my face, all over my hat. I had to flush my eye out. It wasn't pretty. So hopefully I can save you that mistake. It wasn't fun. But, guys, the Iwata Eclipse, it is a double stage, which means everything is done with this trigger. When you push down on this trigger, can you hear it? Pushing down is where your air comes from, okay? Now, let's talk air for a moment. This is an airbrush gun, right? So if you have an airbrush gun and you have some paint to put in it, but you don't have air, then we need to start over. Let's talk. See that big yellow thing? There we go, right there. That big monstrosity there, that is a 60-gallon tank. 60-gallon air compressor. Gives me all the air I need to run this little guy. And you don't have to have one that big. I run an airbrush shop, and I have for a couple years now. So I want something big and reliable. But you can use a small compact compressor as long as you can consistently get 25 to 30 psi, pounds per square inch of air through a hose to your airbrush gun, you're good to go. Can you get 25 to 30 pounds of consistent air? If you, whatever compressor you decide to go with, that'll work. I don't know how well you can see them. Probably not very well, but right there and there and there are actually four. I have four little mini compact compressors that I take with me on the road. And I will pack them all up and take them with me. I may not use them all, but I don't want to be out on the road all packed up and realize that one of them doesn't work, or I have a bad failure, and then what are you going to do, right? Okay, so I have air that is piped to me from my compressor over there. It comes up, comes in behind you guys, and comes to my easel, which is right here next to me. Okay, I have it regulated. I actually have it regulated twice. I have moisture traps in it. If you were really good and had eagle eyes, you could see there's an inline moisture trap on the side of my compressor right there. That's right. That helps collect any moisture. I have another one next to my regulator on my easel here. I'll see if I can turn you around to let you see it. Right here. This is a regulator. Right here is my moisture trap. Moisture will build up in there. You can release it to get it out. Pretty cool, right? Now, a lot of you guys may be like, oh, shut up. I already know all this stuff. Okay, well, good. There's a few people that could watch this that maybe didn't know that. So, Iwata Eclipse, double action. All right, I have air going to it. Push down on the trigger. Nothing's coming out, right? Nothing. Why is that? Because it's being a double action trigger, pushing down does not control the material. Okay, I have water in this right now, okay, so it's perfectly safe. Now, if I just pull back on the trigger, nothing happens. Well, you said it did it double action. Yeah, well, that's because you got to do both at the same time. Now, so what you're going to do is you're going to push down for your air control and slide it back. You ready? Down. Just a little bit. Slide it back. I'll try to use my shirt for contrast. Here's full blown. Ready? See it come out? Push down. Start pulling back. You'll watch the stream. Okay, watch the stream. It will get more and more the further back I pull. More material come out. See that? Pretty cool, right? There's an actual needle in here that pulls back with your trigger. And you know that a needle goes down to a point. So as you're pulling that needle back, your opening gets a bit larger, allowing more to spray out. Okay? So I want to get rid of the water in here. Like that. It's all gone. All that water, I had this full. All that water is gone. My airbrush gun is clean, okay? Like I said, if you want to see, sorry, getting messages over here constantly. Probably somebody asking, how do you clean out your airbrush? I've got videos on that, guys. Look at my live playlist. Okay, so this is clean. It's dry. There's nothing in here. I will give it a good visual inspect, make sure there's not like a little speck of paint somewhere that I missed, because even the smallest little speck will get you. Today, I'm going to airbrush on shirts. I have an order for 7 shirts, front and back. Got quite a bit to do today, but I thought I would give you guys a video of me getting ready. So, you will need, okay, again, this is not sponsored, but this is my white airbrush gun. What I mean by that is I exclusively use this for white only. I know this one is my white one because of this piece of tape right here. One big old piece of tape on there. It wouldn't hurt if I put a W on it, but it's the only one I have with that big old piece of tape on it. I know that that is my white. It is also my newest gun. I use white the most, and I also use it for the details the most. So I want it to be my newest gun. If I get another new one, guess what? I will convert it over to my next white again. My newest gun will always be white, and it will be marked. I never have to worry about getting black specks in here. I never have to worry about working on your truck, on your hood, and a piece of green paint comes flying out from somewhere somehow. I don't have to worry about that because I keep this white. I do have videos showing you how to flush the colors and things like that. If you only have one airbrush gun, that's fine. You can use it. You just need a little bit more planning. Try to do as much of your white as possible before changing colors or doing anything like that. This one is what I use for my black. It has no markings on it. It is another Iwata Eclipse, just like I said before. I have one with this little piece of tape on it. This is my oldest Iwata. This is my original gun that I picked up about 6 years ago. This is there's been a lot of magic created with this gun. Um, I use it for my colors. This is what I'll use for basically all my colors throughout the day. I'll add. I try to start with my lighter colors first, like a yellow or something like that, and then I'll start flushing it through. Maybe do some reds and browns, and I usually end up if I like a darker blue or something like that, and then I'll clean it all out at the end of the day. The darker colors will flush the lighter colors through a lot easier than trying to do it just the opposite. Okay, I'm sure I'll miss a few of your questions. I get several. I'm just trying to think of some of the most common as I go. One thing that I use is 4012 reducer. Okay, you will need reducer. This is a Createx product, and I will be using the Createx white, opaque white. If you need a part number to order it from Coast Airbrush or whoever you get your stuff from, that is a 5212 opaque white. You can get them in smaller bottles. Now, I don't vigorously shake up the 4012 like crazy, like I do my paint, but I do mix it up. Now, the paint, on the other hand, this stuff will settle on you. I haven't airbrushed. It's Monday here. I don't know when you'll get a chance to watch it, but it's Monday. So it's been sitting over the weekend, and I know that it'll separate and the heavier particles will settle at the bottom. So I always recommend, even if you just used it an hour ago, shake your paint. Shake the bottle really well. Always shake your paint, okay? Guys, this is tremendous. When I first started out, I didn't shake my paint, and it was so aggravating. Like, why is it spraying this way? And then tomorrow it sprays a different way. And then I didn't touch it for a week, and everything changed completely on me. And it was nothing that I was doing wrong other than trying to learn, but I didn't shake my paint, and it would separate on me. So when I poured it in here, you never really knew what kind of mixture you were getting. So you want consistency, big time consistency. It's huge in the airbrush world when it comes to setting up. If you can set up consistently, you'll airbrush consistently. That makes sense, right? Just made that up. Kind of. I'm sure 1,000 other people's already said it too, but I don't know. I'm not reading anything. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. Okay, guys. I'm going to add a little bit of reducer here. I know that a little bit is not an exact measurement for you, and some of you guys want an exact measurement. Well, you won't get that from me. Sorry, I'm not an exact measurement kind of guy. If you were on a hard surface, if you were going to airbrush a license plate or a tailgate or something, I would recommend starting out at 50-50 on your mixture. 50% of your reducer, 50% paint, okay? I put a little bit of reducer in here, probably around a third of a cup, maybe a little more. I'm going to spray just a little. That's it. That eliminates any of that water that was in here that might have been set. There might just be a drop of water still sitting inside here somewhere. So that little real quick, that'll eliminate that. It's probably not necessary, but again, I'm just telling you what I do and how I do it. Paint should be good and mixed up. You don't have to get crazy with it, but you want it what? You want it consistent. That's right. So I'm going to start out probably a little less than 50-50 because I'm doing a softer material such as a shirt. I'm probably going to be more like 60-40. I'm going to have 60% paint and 40% reducer. So now that I've got this in here, I'm sure there's not a good way for you to see it. We'll try. See how it's separated? So what I will do is I will take a paintbrush and I will start mixing that up nice and easy. Still watching down there? I see you. All right, guys. Just going to mix it up And I will mix this up for about a minute. Get it as mixed up as I can. If you overfill this cup, which I've done it, if you overfill this cup, you're going to make a mess in this process. You're not going to be able to stir it without getting it all over the place. And I may still. I'm still kind of full, but I did not fill it all the way up. I know this is almost like watching paint dry, right? Nothing funner than watching somebody mix paint. Well, I know that there are people watching that are interested, and that's cool. Another thing you can do, and I've actually seen videos on this, is you can, if you have your cover on, you can put your finger over paint, or you'll end up with a face full of paint. We don't want to do that, do we? So, I have done this a few times, so I can safely put some bubbles to it. I don't know how well they'll come on screen, or if you can even see them, but it is bubbling. And some people will tell you that that's how you mix it up. I'd rather use the paintbrush. That way I know it's good and mixed. You can put this lid on and shake your airbrush gun if you want to. While I'm painting, I tend to get all crazy with it anyway and kind of keep it shook up. I always keep a rag close by. So where are we at? We're 20 minutes in. I've talked to you about the PSI, what airbrush guns I use, what paint I use, and I already have paint mixed up. I have listened to a lot of videos from Coast Airbrush. They recommend that if you have time, let your paint and your reducer sit for a few minutes. At least give it 10 minutes to just kind of mingle and get together and hang out. Let it all be happy together. So always keep a rag close by. I'm doing that to clean out my brush some, get a little extra paint off my brush because I know that I'm going to grab my black and get it ready next. I do use quick disconnects on everything. Man, they are a lifesaver. I know that there's always a chance of them leaking, but I do this every day, guys, so I can't imagine screwing them on and screwing them off every time. So I've got a little water in here because, as you can see from my cleaning videos, I like to leave water sitting in this. Just a few drops at the bottom. That way, let's say there's a chance that I've missed some paint somewhere. Maybe it won't get hard as a rock and I can get it out of there because I left water in it. Okay. I will spray. Check, make sure there's nothing in it. You can also take the corner of your rag and just kind of wipe it down. You don't have to push real hard or anything like that. I mean, if you have to do that, then there's already a different kind of issue. You shouldn't have to scrub anything very hard. It should all be gentle. All right, again with the 4012 reducer. Spray just a little. That should eliminate any of the water down here. Now, what do we need to do next? Does anybody know? There's my opaque Createx black. 5211 is your part number. And you got to shake it. Come on, guys, shake it. Shake your paint. Trust me on this. Shake it and shake it well. You want the paint shaken up, you want it mixed up, and you want it what? You want it consistent. That's correct. Good and consistent. There we go. So now, again, I will be around probably 60-40. It is not full. Probably about 80% full. Take my paintbrush and begin to mix that up. So guys, that's about all there is to it that I'm going to do in this video. I do hope it was helpful. You are more than welcome to anything that I missed to let me know, to comment. You can message me. Guys, if you need to get a hold of me or see my work, I am on Facebook, Instagram. I'm currently on TikTok, and of course, YouTube. I also have a website at crazythingart.com. So I kind of let my work speak for itself. You either enjoy it or you don't. You either think it's good or you don't. That's okay. For the last 2 years, I have made a living doing what I love to do, which is airbrushing. I can only do that because of my fan base and my clients and customers that support me by giving me requests, asking me to paint for them. And because I have so many amazing customers, I have successfully been able to do this for the last 2 years and nothing else. Uh, that is a lifelong dream of mine. And I feel incredibly blessed to be able to do that. I feel like I am the luckiest man in the world. So that's another reason why I don't mind sharing with you guys. Like if I can give you an opportunity to pick something up, a tip, or to learn something and pick it up that way, then that's amazing. And makes me feel even better. The shirts I'm doing today, they will be colorful. I know I have to do some blue and some pink, blue for the boys and pink for the girls shirts. So what I will do, since I'm doing a black shirt, is I will go over all my designs in white. I'll trim them up and clean them up with the black. And then once I'm done with all the white, I'll take all the girls' shirts, set them to the side, and I will go over what I need to with pink on all of them first. Flush the pink out, and then go back, put blue in, and go do all my blue. That will cover your bases so you're not going back and forth. And it'll keep your colors good, but that's a process that I won't do until later today, so I won't be showing it to you right now. So again, if there's any questions at all that you have, feel free to put them in the comments for me. I will do my best to address them. If you need to get a hold of me, then get a hold of me. Okay, feel free. Pause the video. Go ahead, pause it. Write that information down. Take a screenshot. Do what you need to do. Okay? I'm giving you my website. I'm giving you my telephone number. I'm giving you my name, my Facebook. What more could you ask for? That's about as visible as I know to be. And like I said, this is not uh, a documentary on how you have to do it. This is a video of me showing you how I do it. And of course, I have my amazing assistant here behind me, Wild Thing. He loves to critique me, but he also loves to show off my work. He's kind of sad right now. He needs a hat. Any of you guys have any ideas for some hats? He needs a new one. He won't give me any ideas. It's just the way he is. But all right, guys, I'm going to call this video done. And again, I really hope it was helpful to somebody. If it was helpful, can you comment that and let me know? If it wasn't, I'm sorry I wasted your time. Hopefully, you got a kick out of watching me mix up my paint for nothing then. But this is what I do every day, guys. And I do it because of you. So I'm going to call this one done. Thank you for all that you do. If you need something, let me know.